My name is Eric Sutherland. I'm a 10-year resident of Ward 1, Precinct 2. I'm here to speak about automated license plate readers, ALPRs, commonly known as Flock cameras. I am autistic. I have social anxiety. The ALPR issue is the first and most likely the last time that I expect to get involved in politics. This is the first city council meeting I've been to in my 45 years of existence. After the ALPR effort is over, I doubt I will ever go to another one. Not that I don't want to, it's just social anxiety. I can read and write just fine, but public speaking is anxiety-inducing for me. I did not choose the ALPR issue. It chose me. Between having been victimized by ALPR abuse myself and the horror stories and news articles, I knew this was a serious issue that needed to be addressed. The event that caused me to get involved was seeing ALPRs appear in a Wisconsin county where an innocent friend had an incident with 2 deputies unrelated to ALPRs. Those deputies traumatized my friend. Their having access to ALPRs increases the risk of more similar incidents against innocent people in that county. Without even thinking about it, I spontaneously started gathering sources and writing a letter documenting all of the dangers of ALPRs. I assumed I'd be done after 3 to 4 pages and perhaps a day or two, but news articles documenting both incidents and cities that have ended their contracts with Flock Safety due to these dangers kept popping up every week. It's important to be thorough in order to demonstrate why ALPRs are dangerous, so I kept documenting the sources. Eventually, I had to cut things off to get the letter published. At that time, I ended up with 26 pages, including about 16 documented examples of cities that canceled their contracts with Flock Safety after learning about the dangers, and about 12 examples of misconduct or errors victimizing innocent people, among other things. All council members have received the first couple pages of this letter with a link to the full letter. Thank you to the 3 council members who replied to my email. With all due respect, I question whether council members read my full letter because 2 of the 3 replies stated that they trust our police chief to ensure the cameras are used as intended. Although I believe our police chief is doing a really good job outside of the ALPR issue, it should be obvious from reading my letter that a police department does not have the ability to address all of the dangers of ALPRs, only some. Since my letter was finalized, more articles documenting more incidents appear regularly. In February alone, 2 Wisconsin police officers were arrested in separate incidents for using their department's ALPRs to stalk their victims. One was in Menasha, the other Milwaukee. California drivers recently filed a class action suit stating that Flock Safety has violated California's ALPR law by sharing data from San Francisco's ALPRs with the federal government and out-of-state law enforcement, which is illegal under California's ALPR law. The article states there were over 2 million illegal searches. It appears that Flock subsequently fixed the issues for specifically California, but we have no way of knowing what the level of risk is in other states. There's a recent CNN article stating that Israel hacked Iran's traffic cameras years ago and recently used an AI-powered target production machine to define where to strike. With Flock Safety's track record of poor data security, it's likely that a foreign actor may similarly hack Flock's ALPR database at some point if they haven't already. Flock Safety CEO Garrett Langley is quoted in an interview with Forbes magazine as stating, and I quote, "Unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFlock whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else, and that, I think, is unfortunate because we don't want chaos," end quote. DFlock is an app where contributors document the locations of cameras. It's run by privacy advocates concerned about the dangers of ALPRs, not terrorists. Does West St. Paul really want to do business with a company that believes privacy advocates are terrorists? In the words of Forbes magazine, Langley envisions a benevolent American panopticon. Those weren't Langley's words, those were Forbes' interpretation of what Langley says. I would like to ask you to imagine what could happen when a benevolent panopticon turns malevolent. The actions of the current administration, including ICE, demonstrate that a generally benevolent government can quickly turn malevolent. ALPRs were rolled out nationwide in a notably undemocratic fashion. They quietly appeared before the general public became aware of them, and they're painted black so drivers are less likely to notice them. Covertly rolling something out against the wishes of many, if not most, residents and visitors is not a democratic thing to do. It's authoritarian. The longer the cameras are active, the more the general public will see the West St. Paul government as bad. If we were to assume the proportion of comments on the West St. Paul Neighbors Group from people who have issues with ALPRs compared to those who support them is representative of the general population, that would mean the vast majority of the population has issues with the cameras. The small handful of commenters who support ALPRs appear to have connections with law enforcement. In order for a municipal government to maintain its legitimacy as a democracy in the eyes of the general public, it needs to discontinue use of ALPRs long term. No one wants trouble. No one wants to be stalked or potentially tracked by bad actors. I appreciate everything all of you have done with West St. Paul. I hope this speech helps demonstrate why ALPRs need to go. Trust me, I respect you. Everything I've experienced living in West St. Paul has been great. This ALPR issue kind of threw me for a loop. It was not something I'd expect a city that I otherwise believe is ethical and has a good police department to do. I hope you can understand. I want to be respectful. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm just really trying to address an issue before more people get victimized just like I was or worse. Thank you very much for your time.